Hello, friends. The title of our message for today is The Quiet Chains That Steal Our Joy. Many people spend their whole lives searching for something, anything that will finally make them happy. Some try to fill the empty space with money, or even entertainment, or work, or travel, thinking that if they can just accomplish more or experience more, the ache inside will disappear. Others depend on people to make them feel complete, hoping that relationships alone will heal their wounded hearts. But even when everything looks perfect on the outside, the heart can still feel tired, restless, and unsatisfied. That emptiness is a sign, a quiet whisper from the soul telling us that something deeper is wrong. Often the real issue is not what is happening around us, but what is happening inside of us. It is the heavy weight of unforgiveness, a burden we carry silently, sometimes without even realizing how deeply it affects our spirit. Bitterness and anger may feel justified. We may feel we have every right to hold on to them. But these emotions slowly choke our joy and quietly block our peace with God. Jesus warns us about this. He said that when we forgive others, our Father in heaven forgives us. But if we refuse to forgive, we close the door to his mercy. In Matthew chapter 6 and verse 14. This is not a small matter. Jesus was showing us how dangerous and destructive the burden of unforgiveness truly is. Forgiving someone does not mean pretending the hurt never happened. It does not erase the wrong or excuse the pain. Forgiveness means placing the wound in God's hand and trusting Him to be the righteous judge and the gentle healer. It is choosing to release what is too heavy for us to carry, because God has forgiven us immeasurably much more. In Colossians chapter 3 and verse 13, Paul reminded us to forgive others just as the Lord forgave us. When we remember how patient, merciful, and gracious God has been with our own failures, then forgiveness becomes an act of worship, an expression of gratitude, not weakness. Peter once asked a question to Jesus, and it goes like this: how many times he should forgive? Maybe 7 times. But in Matthew chapter 18 and verse 21 to 22, Jesus answered with 7 times 7, 70 times 7. He was teaching that forgiveness is not something we measure. It is a lifestyle, a continuous posture of the heart, a reflection of the mercy God has poured out on us again and again. Forgiveness may not feel natural. It may go against every emotion we have. But God never told us to forgive because it feels easy. He calls us to forgive because it leads to freedom. When we release bitterness, God begins to restore our peace. The heavy chains loosen, the spiritual fog lifts, and the joy that had been buried for years begin to rise again. True freedom does not come from getting revenge, holding on to anger. It comes from letting go and giving God access to the deepest places of our pain. When we forgive, God fills the empty spaces where anger once lived. He pours His love, He pours His comfort and His healing into our wounds. As we surrender the hurt, our hurt, to Him, we draw closer to Him than we ever have before. Forgiveness is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your healing. It is the moment when the quiet chains break and the joy that was stolen begins to return. So my brothers and my sisters, forgive freely. This is the will of God. Thank you for listening. If this message has lifted your spirit, consider sharing it with someone who may need encouragement today, because a simple word of hope can carry the love of Jesus farther than you may even imagine. Stay blessed, and may the peace of our God be with you always. Amen.